After we discussed, the firm's profit maximizing point and derive the firm's supply curve, now we're gonna take a look at the firm's profit or loss, how much that would be. Okay, so we want a more accurate estimate of how much money the firm can actually make or lose on the market. Okay, on the basis of the previous discussion. Now, on the worksheet number 10, if you look at the back side, you would be able to find questions number 4 and number 5. We give you a chance to derive a firm's economic profit or loss on the graphs. Okay, so if you have not yet finished these two questions, again, I would urge you to pause the video and give yourself a chance to do that independently. Okay, and probably the first thing you should think about is what curves or what cost and revenue variables are relevant. Okay, what do you want to put on the graph to be able to show an economic profit or loss? All right. Now, as we already discussed, to be able to figure out the profit maximizing point, we have to have the marginal revenue curve and the marginal cost curve, right? So these two are, what we really need when we figure out the economic profit or loss. But these two are not going to be enough, okay? Because we would be able to know the quantity in the price, okay, from the intersection point of these two marginal curves. But we also need to know that the cost, okay, especially the total cost. Now, to be able to find that, we need the average total cost curve. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here we already showed you these three curves, okay, and we are trying to figure out, the firm's total profit. Okay, on the graph, that means we have to identify the area which represent the firm's profit. Okay, all right. Again, the most important point is still the intersection between MC and MR. Okay, that gives us the maximum, the profit maximizing point. Okay, now in this specific example, we know that the price is $10 per unit, and the profit maximizing quantity, if you go down here on the horizontal axis, you find it's 50. So the firm should produce 50 units. Okay. Now we also got this average total cost curve. So when the firm produces 50, you go up there, you hit the ATC curve, that will give you the average total cost here, which is $6 per unit on average. Okay. All right. Now, with all of this information, what we could find is number one, the total revenue. Okay, so we already find the market price $10. We already find the quantity 50. So price times the quantity will give us the total revenue. Okay, or graphically, that means this big box from P or from $10 to this point, intersection point, down here to 50 and the origin. Okay, so this big box represents the total revenue. And we can also find the total cost, right? We said that when firm produces 50 units, the average total cost per unit is $6. So the ATC times the quantity will give us the total cost. That will be this small box on the graph. Okay, all right. Now let's show you this. And the profit per unit would be P minus ATC. Okay, so the firm can actually receive $10 per unit from the market, but it only spends $6 to produce that unit. So by selling or producing each unit, the firm can make $4. All right. And remember, it produces $50. 50 units. So you use the profit per unit times the quantity. You would be able to find the total profit is $200 on the graph. That's the pink area here. Okay. Again, as we just said a minute ago, if you look at the big box here as the total revenue, the smaller box here as the total cost, and then you would end up with the same pink area showing the profit the firm can earn when it maximizes its profit. Okay. All right, so this is the situation when the firm makes money. Okay, what if the firm does not make money? Okay, and that means the total revenue is going to be less than the total profit. The total cost, right? And when the total revenue could be smaller than the total cost, we would probably guess that the price is going to be lower than ATC, the average total cost, right? So we're going to move this MR marginal revenue or the price line down here to be able to show an economic loss. All right, so that's what you see here. Excuse me. So the price now is $3 per unit. Okay, that is also the marginal revenue. And again, the very first thing we need to do on this graph is to locate the intersection between MC and MR. Because even when the firm experiences an economic loss, that intersection point will still tell you, you could say maximize the profit, but here is no profit, so we'd better say minimize the loss. Okay. Again, if you produce more than 30, you would find that the firm actually lose more money. Okay, because MC is greater than MR or gets greater, the gap gets wider on the right hand side. Okay, so the firm actually leads to reduce the quantity. If we stay below 30, you would find that the firm can potentially make more money by increasing its profit. Okay, because the gap here is between MR and MC. Okay. All right, so this intersection point gives us the loss minimizing point. Okay, we find that the price is $3 and the quantity is 30. So here, this box from $3 to the intersection point to 30 on the horizontal axis to the origin, this will give us the total revenue. Okay, now we find the ATC lies above the price line. Okay, so when the firm produces 30, you go all the way up and you hit the ATC. Then at that level, we find the corresponding ATC is $5. Okay, so on average, the firm spends $5 producing each unit. Okay, so $5, this point on ATC down here, 30 units in the origin. This big box represent the total cost. Okay, and of course, the difference between these two boxes would be the economic loss. Let's check this out. Okay, so the firm loses $2 per unit because it gets only $3 back from the market, but it has to spend $5 producing each unit. Okay, so it loses $2 and it produces 30 units. So the total loss will be the loss per unit times the quantity, okay, of output. It will be $60. So that is the pink area here. Okay. Right. And one thing we do want to bring up to your attention is here you find that the firm actually do not produce at the bottom of ATC, right? And on the previous one, you find the same thing. The firm does not choose to produce at the bottom of ATC. Okay. Again, the goal of these firms is to maximize their profit. They're not trying to minimize their cost. Okay? Our common sense often tells us these two are the same thing, or they are the two sides of the same coin. If you minimize your cost, you are maximizing your profit. That is not true. Okay? That is not true. Okay? We already find that, when MC equals MR, the firm maximizes its profit. But at that quantity level, it does not minimize its cost. Okay? So again, these two are different. Okay? Make sure you bear that in your mind. All right? Okay, now the next thing we're going to discuss is, shall this firm continue to produce or go under business? Okay? Because it already experienced economic loss. Here, $60. So should this firm quit, or should it try something, or should it continue producing? We're going to discuss that in the next video.